Prabhu, I think we can start, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. I'm still sending the message out to this other devotee for this youth festival. Just give me a few seconds. Your WhatsApp number. Manibhushan Prabhu, what is your WhatsApp number? Manibhushan Krishna Prabhu, what is your WhatsApp number? Because I'm just sending a message to this devotee.
00965.
That I've written plus 965.
Yeah, 665.
665, yes.
38.
38.
591.
591. Okay, great. So you please coordinate,
Okay,
with them. Thank you so much, and wish all our youth the best. Okay. Please give me just 30 seconds, and then I'll be ready. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Can everybody participate also? Shivaguru Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Krishna. Prabhu, your video is not coming, Prabhu.
It will come. In a few minutes it will come. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Everyone please.
Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine.
Namaste Saraswate
Gauravani
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudana
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudanam
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudanam
Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadari
Jai Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Jai Shodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Jai Yamunatira Vanachari
Munatira Vanachari
Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajakachaри Ashtottr Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai
Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai
Shri Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai.
Jai
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय. श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय. श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. श्री जगन्नाथपुरी द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय. श्री गंगा माई की जय. श्री यमुना माई की जय. श्री भक्ति देवी की जय. श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय.
Jai
श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक्स की
Jai
jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So today we'll read from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Let's see. 1 minute. Zoom application. Join. Shivguna Prabhu, so the code is 114.
Yes, Prabhu.
Next, can you tell me? 114. After that, what is it?
1 minute, I missed. 1 minute.
984
Yes, Prabhu.
984 414.
Great. 114 984 414. Okay. Excellent. Hare Krishna. So, we are connecting today during a very auspicious month. And of course, as devotees, we should be reading Bhagavad Gita as it is every single day. But it is mentioned that it is during this month that the advent of Bhagavad Gita happened. As in, Lord Shri Krishna spoke his divine instructions to Arjuna during this month. So now we have entered into this month. And traditionally, within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, this month is celebrated because during this month, all the sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada, his disciples, the disciples of his disciples, they all muster up their energy, whether they are in India, America. I also have some friends who are in Siberia. And even in Siberia, they go out to share the love of Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada's books with everyone. Every verse of Bhagavad Gita as it is directly from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the Vedas, all the Vedic scripture, everything that's written is actually Shabda. It comes from the Supreme Lord. But that Shabda becomes even more glorious, effulgent, no distinction, but still ever more sweet when it comes directly from the lotus lips of Lord Shri Krishna. So I would like to congratulate all of us that we have this opportunity to be able to perform some service during this month with respect to Srila Prabhupada's transcendental books. And for many years, for many, many years, by the good effort, I'm sorry if there's background noise. I'm in a domestic environment. It will go after 5-7 minutes. For many years, Kanaya Desh and the devotees have really spearheaded the e-book marathon in the whole GCC. And irrespective of the fact that as a yatra, we maybe, not so many numbers or not so many years or this and that, whatever. But in terms of spirit of Sankirtan, all of you have done and brought a lot of joy to Srila Prabhupada, because every year you have distributed the maximum number of books in India or in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh or Nepal or other countries, just by your desire and your service of going out and collecting the orders. So yet another year. This year is going to be slightly different. Not that your inspiration, not that your motivation is any less than what it was previously, but because we are in a difficult and different circumstance. We are in a circumstance where social distancing has to be maintained, masks have to be worn, we must abide by the rule of the law. I meant rule of the land, law of the land, and ensure the safety of ourselves, our family members, and also for those that we are interacting with. So while I request you to maintain the same enthusiasm, but please do not let that enthusiasm be dampened even an iota just because, this time we're able to do less number of books, distribute less number of books. It's all right. It's all right. Many things have changed this time. Even for the Bhadra Purnima, this whole festival which used to happen on the Bhadra Purnima itself, they've expanded to 2 or 3 months. The marathon itself has been expanded to accommodate these circumstances. So please do your best, but not to be discouraged by the numbers. All right. On that note, Bhagavad Gita as it is the life and soul of every devotee who's part of ISKCON. And today, Srila Prabhupada is giving us an opportunity to read a few verses and hear his divine purports. So we will start from Bhagavad Gita 1.45. And Shivaguna Krishna Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
can I have your permission to continue to read as much as I can, because I
Yes,
looked
Prabhu.
at, as you know, the purports are fairly short,
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
we
Yes.
want to hear from Srila Prabhupada on this auspicious occasion where we are encouraging everyone.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want me to share the screen, Prabhu? Bhagavad verses?
No. I'll just recite and read. If
Okay.
devotees can just kindly in terms of hearing, if they can pay attention, I would be grateful. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 1, text 45. Yadi mam apratikaram ashastram shastra panayah dhartarashtra rane hanyus tanme shema taram bhavet. Synonyms, word by word meaning, translation, purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yadi, even if, mam, me. Sorry, mam, me. Apratikaram, without being resistant. Ashastram, without being fully equipped. Shastra panayah, those with weapons in hand. Dhartarashtraha, the sons of Dhritarashtra, running on the battlefield. Hanyu, may kill. Tat, that. May, for me. Shemataram, better. Bhave, would be. Yadi mam pratikaram shastram shastra panayah dhartarashtra rane hanyustaname sheme taram bhavet. Translation. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, me here refers to Arjuna, who's speaking to Lord Shri Krishna. Addressing Lord Krishna, he says, better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me, unarmed and unresisting in the battlefield. Purport. It is the custom, according to Kshatriya fighting principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from being a great devotee of the Lord. So here, the symptoms of being a devotee of the Lord are described, and few key questions that we can keep in our mind. Let's start with the easier one. Actually, every sentence that Srila Prabhupada has given, if we deeply apply to our consciousness, our mind, and how we think when we are in confrontation, it will help us greatly to reduce it. It will help us greatly also to understand and overcome this deeply embedded tendency to get into a tangle. Why? Does anybody know why do we get into a tangle? Into a fight, into a quarrel? Prayena alpa ayusha sabhyo kalo asmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyahi upadhritaha. It's a constitutional, in a sense, it is a constitutional nature of a jiva which has gone through billions of lifetimes and now landed in Kali Yuga to be like this. We may have an overestimation of ourselves. That no, I am not affected by this. Or if I am, only in few circumstances, only in extreme circumstances, otherwise I'm all right. Let us not fool ourselves. We are affected by this because that's why we are here. That's why we're in Kali Yuga right now. So if we do have this tendency, what shall we do? Let's look at this tendency. And I'm only going to take phrases from Srila Prabhupada's purport and ask you questions to myself. If you like, you can also ask the question to yourself. First question. If I am in a situation where I want to pick up a quarrel with someone, is the party bent upon fighting? When the phrase bent upon fighting is used, it means, you see, when something is straight, when something is bent, you can't straighten it. So something bent means fixed upon fighting. Do we, in our life, especially amongst the devotees, do we actually come across people with whom we pick up fight, confrontation, we have confusion? Are those people who are really bent upon fighting? That's something for us to consider. Whether really fixed that, yes, they want to have this argument with us or they want to have this fighting with us. In my case, the answer is probably not. Now, for a moment, let's assume that they are bent upon fighting. The next question is, did I consider how much they are bent upon fighting? Is it only just little? All I have to say is, Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'm sorry, and it will be all right? Or is it like really bent? Sometimes it's as simple as that. Just reaching out and saying, first realizing, of course, seeing how much the person is meant, and just saying, I am sorry. I made a mistake. I shall not do it. So this I'm focusing on the third sentence. Yeah, these two questions from the third sentence. Now let's move backwards. When will we actually develop, when will I develop that quality of a devotee that even if somebody wants to harm me, I would not reciprocate? Prabhupada says, however, Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by an enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. And this is within the rules of engagement of fighting, huh? Because the first sentence is outside the rules of engagement, but within the rules of engagement of fighting, do I ever consider this, that I will not fight? Because this business of fighting and tolerance does not go well together, dear devotees. It does not go well together. Either you tolerate or you fight. So, tolerance, famous verse from the Shikshashtakam. That's the height of tolerance. That's the level of tolerance a devotee must exhibit in their behavior. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniye sada hari. Why? Because I just want to chant the holy name. When Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami were approached by a proud scholar, they wrote on a piece of paper and said, "We are defeated," and sent him away. So we have to ask this question. Even if we are in an awkward position, even if we feel it's unfair, this is unfair, I had this is my right, this is my property or whatever, this should be mine. All of this has been entitled to me by XYZ, spiritual authority, this, that, it's mine, but this person is taking it away. He's fighting for it. That's an awkward position. In an awkward position, when one does not fight, that's when one demonstrates the quality of a devotee. How awkward? Now let's go to the first sentence. How awkward was the position of Arjuna? He was not a coward. He didn't have any doubt on his strength. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was next to him. He had defeated so many, many valiant warriors before this, and he had only victory in front of him. Yet, Yat. He gave a glimpse of the quality of a devotee. Are you all getting some glimpse of his qualities? I think it would be nice if you all can please switch on your videos and not remain impersonal. Nirvishesha Shunyavadis. I'm waiting. Once you all switch on your videos, then I can continue. I think we'll need the intervention of Mani Bhushan Krishna Prabhu to get everybody to switch on their videos.
Hare Krishna, everybody can switch on your videos as Prabhuji is requesting.
We like to be personal, look at each other, talk to each other. I want to know what's going on in your heart. I'm sure you want to know what's going on in my heart. So the question asked here is that if we are in that situation, in that such a privileged situation as Arjuna is, it's actually many ways unimaginable. This circumstance, we cannot even fathom what Arjuna is in and what is he doing. They have just now blown the conchs, as you know, and already the shivers have gone down the spine of the Kuru army. The Kuru army, it is described in the previous verses, it was clear, this is finished, even before it's going to start, because of the circumstances. And what did Arjuna do? He showed the character of a devotee. Having everything, he said, I'm going to give it up. Tashraddhana muneyo jnana vairagya yuktaya pashyanti atmani cha atmanam bhakta shruta grihitaya. Now, in one level, it may seem, oh, these are just social interaction, how to fight, how not to fight, and all right, we will not be able to fight, everything will be nice. But actually, that is not the goal. That is not why we're doing all of this. The goal is Pashyanti Atmani Cha Atmanam. To be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead within our hearts. So even though they appear to be external gestures, but these external gestures indicate whether we will have a chance or not. That's why Srila Prabhupada writes clearly, all these symptoms are due to the soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Imagine such a powerful warrior is willing to die unarmed. Come, kill me. Anybody here ready to die for Krishna? Two devotees are raising hand. It's very good. 3. Actually, 4. 4. Yes, we should all be prepared. Well, that's what the last verse of Shikshashtakam says. Ashlishyava padaratam vinashtumam adarshana marmhata karotuva yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva paraha. At that time, the life of the residents of Vrindavan was already gone. It was beyond death. The state of stillness beyond death already occurred before that. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. These are esoteric topics. These are deep topics. The point is, we should be ready to die. Now you may say, what kind of crazy philosophy is this? You're wanting to, are we coming here to die? Yes. We are coming here to die so that we never take birth again. That's Srila Prabhupada's philosophy. We are ready to die one last time so that we don't have to ever take birth again. Friend of mine who puts a very nice WhatsApp symbol, very famous statement, and it says, give at least one life to Srila Prabhupada. We're not asking too many. Imagine if you have billions of rupees, my dear devotees, and I was asking you, give me 1 rupee. No problem, take it. Correct? Now, by the same logic, I'm asking you, you have had billions of lifetimes and you will have billions of lifetimes. Can you give 1 life to Srila Prabhupada? So, that's the mood of a devotee is like that. Let us read one more verse. 1.46. Sanjay Vacha Evam Uktva Arjuna Sankhye Rathopasta Upavishat Vishrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Sampigna Manasa. Synonyms, word by word meaning. Sanjay Vacha. Sanjay said, Evam, thus, Uktva, saying, Arjuna, Sankhya, in the battlefield, Ratha, of the chariot, Upaste, on the seat, Upavishat, sat down again, Vishrajya, putting aside, Sasharam, along with arrows, Chapam, the bow, Shoka, by lamentation, Samvigna, distressed, Manasa, within the mind. Sanjay Vacha Eva Muktvarjuna Sankhye Ratopastha Upavishat Visrija Samsharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa. Translation. Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot. But he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again. Setting aside his bow and arrows, such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. I repeat this statement. I really repeat this statement again and again. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is or then becomes fit to receive self-knowledge. Dear devotees, this is the first chapter. It's like the introduction to start the Bhagavad Gita. And it describes very clearly that without this soft heart, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita's words, verses, purports, translations, meters shall do very little for the transformation of our heart. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies on the battle of Kurukshetra. And while I was reading this purport, suddenly the thought crossed my mind that how it must be when Srila Prabhupada just arrived at Boston Harbor. And at that point in time, Srila Prabhupada saw in front of him all of these people equipped with, as he beautifully describes in his prayers, equipped with passion and ignorance, ready to pounce upon him with their weapons and their weapons in the form of samshayas and all kinds of things. And here it was Srila Prabhupada, the Maharathi, devotee of the Lord, who in those beautiful prayers that Srila Prabhupada wrote, surrenders everything and prays to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, now let me dance, you let me dance." We are often, the mind makes us think that the process of surrender is a process which is going to take us away from something valuable. But actually the process of surrender is a process which brings us closer or closest to the most invaluable. It's the least understood process. The process of bhakti is not understood. It is understood at various levels of consciousness depending upon what modes we are driven with. But unless we very deeply apply every single word of Bhagavad Gita in our life. It would be very difficult to enter the world of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada had all the weapons. He let them down, took full shelter of Krishna. When he set out on the ship to distribute his books, what did Srila Prabhupada come to the West or come anywhere to give? He had a trunk of books, and that's all he had. His Bhagavatam. Even the Bhagavad Gita was not there. It was the Srimad Bhagavatam. But full surrender to the Supreme Lord. The abhushan, the decoration of a devotee, is very different. Decoration of devotees, not our bank balance, not how good we look, this and that. Decoration of the devotee is the qualities that we develop, genuine qualities. So much can be said about these verses. The lamentation, I was thinking how much Srila Prabhupada was lamenting from his heart at that point in time. How much he was lamenting. By the way, all of you are students of Bhagavad Gita, so understand the lamentations we are talking about is not the lamentation mode of ignorance. This is genuine lamentation on a platform where one wants to do something good. Something good. Okay. We can do one more verse. Sanjay Vacha Tam Tatha Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudana. Or actually, because it's a verse that somebody is going to cover, so I think I can pause here because we'll keep some little time also for any questions or objections devotees may have. Okay, everyone. So on the quality of tolerance, on the quality of developing qualities, Srila Prabhupada's mission, and this importance of applying every line very carefully, not just passing over them. You know, we have a tendency, okay, have I gone through this? Have I gone through this? Have I gone through this? Yes. If you just apply that tendency of having gone through, then much like all lives have gone, this life will also go, you know, billions of life. No. Pause. Pause, pause, and pause. Not how much I've gone through in terms of lines. What has gone through, you know, gone through my heart. That's what matters. Are you all with me? Not how many lines I've gone through, but what has gone through my heart. What word has penetrated my heart? Chittate Koriya Aikya. Has that happened or not? Okay. Hare Krishna. I pause. Questions, objections, comments, so on and so forth.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, this chapter 1, the very name, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. As Vaishnavas, as devotees, uh, how should we observe things that is happening around us? If you can please throw some light on that, Prabhuji, because it's a very beautiful
From Shastra Chakshu.
title. Okay.
From Shastra Chakshu. Everything around us should be observed from the eyes of Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Nectar of Devotion. And for that, we have to go through these books very, very scrutinizingly. So next question would be, what really happens when one goes through them scrutinizingly? One is theoretical study. If you're a science student and you do theoretical study, not a practical, then even if the litmus paper turns blue or red, you don't know. You forget what is blue, what is red, you don't know. But when you apply the litmus test to yourself, after that, when it happens, when you see the mode of Rajoguna arising in someone, then you're able to see. Who's that someone? Mirror, myself. Oh, Rajoguna is arising. Calm down, dear. So, Shastra Chakshu give us an ability to look at, observe everything around us. First, at a very material level. To understand that we are actually just like a puppet, what's really happening. Any character who has even 2 ounces of brain can very quickly come to a conclusion that I'm nothing less than an puppet, helpless puppet in the hands of Prakriti. That's why Bhagavad Gita say, what does it say? Prakrite kriyamanani gunaha karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimud atma karta aham iti manyate. So the first step is, where am I in that understanding? Am I still struggling at the understanding of the Mudha? That's also Shastra Chakshu, right? Amarajuna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's not for outsiders only, it's also for us. So, first level is that. Am I still thinking I am the doer? If I'm still thinking I'm the doer, then I have a big problem. Why? Because which category do I fall in? Ishwaraham aham bhogi siddho aham balavanapi. Very good qualities, right? For the demons. They are for the demons. The Asuri Jana. So that's the first level. That's where you start observing. That's where the circle of samsara can start breaking if one starts to observe from that level. And it's ridiculous how I'm just turning around like a tabletop. Do you remember? They're in all parts of India, there's a tabletop. You rotate it and it keeps rotating. In northern part of India, there's something called lattu. A lattu is and in India, and I'm sure in South India also there must be something equivalent in which you tie a rope, it has a small nail, and you just throw it and then it just whirls on the ground. Do you have something like that?
Yes, Prabhuji, we call it Bambaram.
Yeah, that's us. So we can all of us can call ourselves Bambaram from here onwards. Yeah. Either Bambaram or Lattu. So we can remove our last names, whatever it may be, and we can call ourselves Bambarams if men, or Bambarambis if women, Lattus if men, and Lattis or whatever if you're women, but that's what we are. That's the first level. The next level of self-realization is when one realizes, if I am under this control of Prakriti, if this is how I'm being rotated, who is rotating me? First is I have to understand I am helpless. Second, I have to understand who's making me helpless. So that comes to understanding of external energy of the Lord, which helps us understand, okay, I'm helpless, but who's making me helpless? If I'm tied up, who's tied me up? If I'm in the jail, who's the jailer? So first we have to understand we are the imprisoned entity. Then we have to understand we are in a jail. Then we have to understand who's the jailer. Then we have to understand who's the manager of other managers in the jail. Then we have to understand who's the king. And then we have to understand, how am I going to get out of this? So the answer will be please the king. Then I have to start pleasing the king. And then I have to wait patiently. Utsahan nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat, for the mercy to arrive. So these are various levels in which you can observe the world around you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Devotees have any other questions or queries, comments? Can unmute your mic, and Prabhu is available. We can ask Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu, thank you very much for the enlightening class. Before sharing my view, I would like to congratulate you for your severe austerity, which is not even unheard of. Very much inspiring for all of us, Prabhu.
It's heard of. It is there.
Yeah, but where we are not, we are discussing about that. Up to with the Panchagavya, we have had, but 5 days Nirjala, Prabhu.
It's tough, but it's written. Maharaj asked me, Hanumat Prasheka Maharaj asked me the same question. He says, which austerity? Maharaj, same one which is given in Bhagavatam. So
Okay,
Maharaj
Prabhu.
smiled and I smiled. Well, thank you
Okay.
for your kind. I think it is by your prayers that I was able to perform a little bit of austerity to clear my brain, which is usually filled with a lot of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Maybe I hope it's gone a little bit for a little while down. But yes, please.
Prabhuji, you are Prabhuji, mentioning about bhakti, as far as it is ahaidugi apradihada, there is nothing to worry about it. That is what I understand.
That is correct understanding, yes. Absolutely.
And Prabhuji,
But
regarding
what was I mentioning? Please go ahead. Prabhu.
Yeah, I think it is it's serious and difficult to perform.
What is serious and difficult? Sorry, I did not understand your point.
The process of bhakti, in the process of bhakti, devotees face
Yes.
difficulties, hardships.
Really? Okay.
No. So if it is ahaidugi apradhyada, then this hardship will not be mattering for.
Actually, I've never seen any devotee face any hardships in the matter of bhakti.
Maybe for the following procedures, depending upon their place, time, place, and circumstances, then there one have to do the best of ability only, Prabhu.
Correct. Yes, yes. That way, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. I mean, some... but it's like this, right? The Bhagavatam describes that when the snakes fall, the Lord makes them like a flower garland around the neck.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhu.
The walk over fire becomes like a cooling walk. So not that we want to artificially pretend like that, but we must aspire for it. We must aspire that much like a Prabhupada used to give the example often of a person in love. A person in love, they go to any extent sometimes to tolerate discomforts. And there's a certain amount of the discomfort creates a joy in the heart, not because we want to, we are not mode of ignorance people, not austeric mode where we trouble our body, pinch our body, this and that, not like that, but because there must be an inherent reciprocation from the Lord. Otherwise, why you want to do this? So that way, actually, the sweetness is so much more, that little bit of whatever comes goes. But please share more with us, Sudarshan Vasudeva Prabhu.
This much only, Prabhu. In fact, if this ahayadugvi apraharyada, then there is no problem at all. There should not be any problem with anyone. Of course, as I mentioned, depending on time, place, and circumstances, the procedures may vary. The time dedicated may vary. So, to the best of ability, is the
There is
answer.
no word, the word best of ability is not the answer. The answer is according to the instruction of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra.
Yes, Prabhuji, there is no compromise on that. That is the minimum. That is the minimum. And
best of ability
further,
means everybody will
about
make
that.
their own criteria. Everybody will make their own criteria. No? Somebody will say, Acha, my ability is only this much. What can I
above
do?
the benchmark. Probably best of the ability, above the benchmark.
Sure, that is correct.
That's
Guru,
what
Sadhu,
I wanted to say.
Shastra. Absolutely, absolutely. Because you see, before and after the verse, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma, Yato Bhakti Adhokshaje, Ahetukiya Pratihata, Yayatma Suprasidhiti are also verses the Bhagavatam describes. And the verse before this verse describes one must be happy. The previous verse specifically says how you become happy. Muneo sadhu prishto aham bhavadbhir lokamangalam yat krita krishna samprashno yena atma suprasidhati. That's why we started this Nityam Bhagavata Sevya program. That's why I request everybody, all of you, to be present when we read Bhagavatam together on Friday. Because it is said, it's disclosed, O sages, just this process, your questions are so good. It's this process of just inquiring about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is good for everyone. Bhavadhi lokamangalam. What is it? What is lokamangalam? Yat Krishna samprashno. Questioning about Krishna. Yena atma suprasidhati. So that we must do. And then we will all become happy. We will all become happy. Thank you. Our Amal Arjuna Prabhu had asked me about the austerity in the morning. Amal Arjuna Prabhu, you still there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I was thinking later on that I should at least mention this much to you. You asked me a specific question about your health and how you felt. So I was thinking about it. Prabhu, it's very important that when we are going into any upavas or any austerity for the Supreme Lord, actually, we don't do anything for the Supreme Lord, but if we try to do it, you have to prepare yourself first. And this is a general instruction or advice that I want to share with everyone, that in order to prepare myself for this fasting for 5 days without water, I had already 3 or 4 days before that, I stopped eating. As in, I reduced myself to only fruit, so that the body becomes light and lighter. And for 3 days into my Nirjal fast, I was able to do my service of going and serving the deities, etc. in the morning. But after that, you have to be prepared that the body will become weak. It will become weak. So you have to prepare beforehand. If you suddenly go into a situation where you're eating or you're honoring prasad 3-4 times, and then you go into a situation like this, not having any prasad or water on Nirjala Ekadashi, or doing, longer fast during Janmashtami and Nandutsav, or longer like this, then it will cause you trouble. The body will not be able to handle it. So if any of you, first of all, please be very careful about these austerities. Like I said, the primary purpose of austerity is to be able to remember Krishna, if you want to do it. Second, be very careful. If you must do it, then you consult with somebody who has some experience. Otherwise, you can cause yourself more physical harm and also sometimes spiritual harm, because you may not be able to remember Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, so anybody else has any question or comments? Any objections on what we said today or read? Please remember one thing, like I was telling, please join us every Friday morning. I take out the time, we come together, everyday devotees are reading. Friday specifically, please come and let us hear Srimad Bhagavatam today. I mean, every day here, please, every day read and hear. Friday we come together, please join. Especially I've requested many times those who are preaching, who are doing prachar, etc. We're not taking too much of your time, only 1 hour. Come and hear what Srila Prabhupada is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please join us. Second, please work on your sadhanas. I've been mentioning about this. Reading, serving the books must bring us to a platform where we get the strength to perform devotional service in such a way that we can get up before 4:30, chant our rounds, read Prabhupada's books, perform Mangalarti every morning. Please do not consider these, the morning sadhana, as a weekend event or once in a while event. No. Prabhupada said this is our morning sadhana. We must all do it every single day without compromise. Please do not eat food from outside. Do not eat, even if it looks very nice, only vegetarian, no onion, garlic, all of that. It's filled with Vishaya, which will destroy the consciousness. Or in some cases is not even allowing us to elevate our consciousness. So with your families and your family members, serve the Supreme Lord nicely. Keep reading every single day. Make the most of this month to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. The more the message goes out, and the more the message goes in, that's when the revolution will happen. Messages must go out, but more importantly, they must go in. That's when the revolution will happen. Closing words, anyone? Any doubts, questions? I sometimes feel nervous, so much silence. Sometimes I wonder maybe my earphone is not working properly or something. Everybody's ready, charged up?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please.
Going through is the word of the day, Prabhu. That word forever also.
Yes. Okay. So,
Thank you.
Srila
Thank you very much,
Prabhupada ki
Tapana Mishra
jai.
Prabhuji.
Bhagavad Gita as it is ki
Jai.
jai.
Any question, Krishna Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram.
Hare Ram.
Ram,
Ram.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram. Ram Ram. Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Hare Hare.
Oh, I must share one thing which I forgot to mention, or the glories of the Kartik month, was that by the blessings of the Holy Dham and the Vaishnavas, you'll all be very happy to know that my elderly mother, who's now 76, she never did anything like this before or for such long duration. But she also actually followed the fast with just, Ekadashi Prasad. And it's magical for us. She has so many complications. She has so many complications, blood pressure, sugar, this and that. But Krishna is so kind. No trouble at all. So in my household, I have from 12-year-old range to 76-year-old range. Complete all kinds of sample sets.
Prabhuji, these are the rewards for your sincere efforts, Prabhu. You are able to
Hare
motivate and
I don't know about my sincere effort. I consider it the prayers of Vaishnavas like all of you, but it is definitely a reward. That much I can tell you.
Hare Krishna.
Because in my lifetime, I never thought my mother is going to practice this kind of austerity. That also here in Sridham Mayapur. But anyways, Hare
All
Krishna.
Prabhu, very inspiring.
The reason
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
sharing, again, the reason I'm sharing is just to give you all a confidence that it is possible. If we have the right circumstance, the right association, then it is possible. That's why. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Manibhushan
Thank you,
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu. Back to
Prabhuji,
you.
during this Kartik month, we had a very wonderful sadhana, means visiting so many dhams from Brajamandal to Gauramandal and Char Dham to Rameshwaram, Dwaraka, Jagannath Puri, and Srirangam,
Tirupati, Srirangam.
Udupi, Tirupati. All these dhams we are able to visit, and we heard
Wow.
a lot of pastimes and the glories of the dhams. And moreover, by our devotees from Kanyadesh and our Bhakti Diksha groups, Prahlad Gurukul groups, altogether we offered around 53,253 lamps.
Jai, all glories to all the devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories.
So wonderful service.
53,200 lakhs. Wow.
So it was a very big
Just
number.
imagine now for a moment, everyone. Imagine that Lord Damodar is there and 53,200 lamps are in front of him at the same time. How does it feel?
Yes, Prabhuji, it was very nice.
Individually, you see, individually when we do devotional service, one lamp at a time or few lamps at a time, it appears, yes, it's nice. But now for a moment, take a pause and think. All those 53,200 lamps are in front of Lord Damodar. Very
The
beautiful.
major contribution from our Radha Pran Kanaya Prabhu's team.
So let us chant 3 times for Radha Pran Kanaya Prabhu and his team. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So thank you each one of you for your wonderful service during this Kartik month to achieve this much big numbers. Our Radha Pran Prabhu and Sadanand Shyam Prabhu, he coordinated nicely around Kuwait, and our Prahlad Gurukul teachers, they motivated all the children to perform Arati with their parents every day. And they are also, almost all these children were part of this.
And our Matajis are there from Prahlad Gurukul here.
Yeah, they are every day they used to call these children and motivate them to do the Arati, and all these children also they shared their pictures.
Please share the names of the Matajis so that we can chant for their service also.
All Matajis like were Himavati Mataji, and with them all the Bhagavad Gita team, they are class students of Bhagavad Gita team and Bhakti Diksha team. And
Anuttam Gopal Prabhu, if you are
Anuttam
with
Gopal
Mataji,
Prabhu,
can you please request Mataji to share the names of these wonderful Vaishnavis who helped in this effort?
otherwise Amalarjun Prabhu is there. Amalarjun also do.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The teachers, those who are coordinated for our Kartik month, you can.
Yeah, I will message
You
that list.
can
Prabhuji,
you can tell now. You can announce the names. Those who
We
are
just want to pray for everyone and thank them.
We have Himavati Mataji, then we have
Rasamai Mataji,
Rasamai Mataji,
Hareshwari
then we have Bindu Mataji. Yes, almost
Jayashree
all the teachers,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
How?
Jayashree Mataji,
Bintu Mataji, and Sarvatita Mataji.
Sarvajit Mataji.
Yeah, and
Reshmi Mataji.
Yeah, Rasamai Mataji, yes.
Well, let us please together also chant for these wonderful Matajis who
Honor.
helped.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Siddharth
Krishna, Hare
Siddharth
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you all the Madajis, those who are motivated children on this wonderful service. So, Prabhuji will be continuing. We'll have a small presentation on book distribution. Follow this.
Okay, please continue. I didn't know there was another presentation, but I had scheduled certain time. I look
Okay.
forward to your association again.
Sure, Prabhuji.
And
So
thank you,
we'll do
everyone.
Vaishnava Pranam to Prabhuji altogether. Vancha
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 kalpatarubhyascha
kalpatarubhyascha kripa
kripa
sindhubhyavacha
sindhubhyavacha
patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
namo
namo namaha.
Govinda ki jai.
Prabhupada. This one service that you're going to now hear about, the presentation, it can change our lives. This one service. Just so much power in this to give somebody Srila Prabhupada's instruction. Thank you. All glories to Srila
Tapana Mishra
Prabhupada.
Prabhu ki
Thank you, Prabhu.
jai.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
ഇല്ല എന്താ പറഞ്ഞ Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, YouTube will be live or I will disable?
Yeah, you can keep it live. After the presentation, we can close it.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, all devotees. We are entering to another book distribution marathon. This is every year, December month, we used to perform this book distribution marathon in all over the world. Part of that we were doing here also in Kanaya Desh from around 2005 onwards. But we used to do through e-book distribution marathon. That is, we will be collecting the Lakshmi here and address here, and we will be arranging the books to be sent from India to all the addresses. So last 15 plus years we are involved in this service, and with all your support it is going nicely. So this year also we are planned a wonderful service towards Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada's requested, this is the request from Prabhupada. My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So Prabhupada's requested all of us to kindly help me. This is my request. So this request, everybody should take yours responsibility to help Srila Prabhupada. So participating in this book distribution, you are directly helping Srila Prabhupada. So in Bhagavad Gita it is told in 1868, Ya idam paramam guhyam mat bhaktesva abdi hasvati bhakti mayi param kritva mam evastasya asamshayaha. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and the end he will come back to me. So participating in this book distribution, each and everybody is participating and explaining the supreme secret to the devotees. So you are guaranteed that you will be going back to him. So don't miss this opportunity to going back to Goloka. and devotees distribute with enthusiasm. See, you can see Guru Maharaj is doing book distribution. So each and every one of us can also participate in this. So there is no distinction. Anybody can distribute. That is the ABCD of distribution of book distribution. And this is the scores for our 2019. So you can see we able to distribute around 3,276 big books. This is including Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book, and around 26 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is including 22 sets during Bhadra Purnima, and we have more than 1,210 small books. That number is little more higher because we are not counted the books which we distributed during our book stalls and all those. So it will be nice year we completing. So the same enthusiasm we should show in this year's also. So this year we are having lot of limitations. We are staying at home, and we are thinking the business may down and mass gatherings are not there. So how we can do this book distribution as previous years? So this is also corona's pandemics and all these environmental impacts we are, but everybody knows we have more, we all of these devotees are more religious, more not only devotees, all these people, and they are all spiritually inclined also. This is the advantage for devotees during this pandemic. So because from almost from March onwards, everybody is getting association through virtual programs, different programs happening every day. And for all of us, there is a wonderful opportunity to hear from His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. Everybody knows Prabhuji is from California, and he is the inspiration for all book distributors. Prabhuji himself is doing wonderful service to the world by distributing lot of books. This Bhadra Purnima inspiration and all came from Prabhuji. So there are today evening we'll have a live to give Damodar. We are arranging one the live program with Vaisheshika Prabhu. So everybody can join today evening 7 p.m. Dubai time, that is 6 p.m. Kuwait time, and we can hear the strategies to revolutionize Sankirtan during this pandemic. So don't miss out. Please join with Prabhuji for this wonderful session. So this price list is already out. Everybody I think received this price list. We already circulated in the groups, and see these are the individual price list for Bhagavad Gita and the small packs of combination Bhagavad Gita Krishna book and Bhagavad Gita small 5 books, 10 books, all those things as usual every year the same. And the bulk order books are there. If anybody is willing to do bulk orders, that is also possible. You can set of 20 Bhagavad Gitas is costing very minimal amount, so you can see comparison. One book is coming around 930 fills only. So this parcel service and the packing charges will be reduced here. All these advantages are there. And also Srimad Bhagavatam set is always there. So anybody is participating in this Bhagavatam distribution, that also possible. And this year we have a very wonderful opportunity, especially for the Gulf devotees. We will be hearing from each and every devotee that people we are contacting, they tell already we have Bhagavad Gita, we have Krishna book, already we purchased. So we can request all of these people to contribute a small wonderful service sponsor a set of Prabhupada books to their schools, school library or their panchayat library in Kerala. So it is costing very minimal amount to subsidized amount of 9 KD. We can send one set of Prabhupada books to their library. If they are interested to send a full set of Prabhupada books, including Srimad Bhagavatam, it will be costing 45 KD only. So please, you can, if somebody is telling we have the books, we can introduce this one because they will be interested, because we are doing this Vidya Dhan. So this benefit will be going to each and every devotee who was participating in this donation. So we can introduce this also. So we can collect these special orders and we can do it from Trivandrum. So anybody's, you can give these numbers. Anybody is interested to contact any of us, we can go through this Gmail ID and WhatsApp number of our Sundar Prabhu. So we can coordinate them. So please participate in this wonderful service of book distribution during this December month. So you can tell to your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your relatives, and collect their numbers, and you can participate in this service. Hare Krishna. Any doubts or something in this one, please ask. Hare Krishna, any doubts on this regard, you can ask us, or we will proceed with the announcements.